everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my Emoji-a-Thon Wrap Up. I'm going to keep it really short and sweet. I just want to let you guys know that I crushed it. I will give you more in-depth reviews on these books in my actual monthly wrap-up, but I wanted to just let you guys know what my TBR was for this month and what I finished and some brief thoughts, and then I'll talk about it more in my other video as well. So first up was I did this for my 24-hour read. And this one was good. This is The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This is a collection of poetry that a lot of people are comparing to Milk and Honey because it's that short kind of open verse poetry. There's no little illustrations in this one. This one I liked a whole lot more than Milk and Honey. Milk and Honey I did not enjoy. This one I liked the premise of a lot more. I liked the theme. I liked the overall collection a lot more than Milk and Honey. However, this is still not my favorite style of poetry. I did think that this one was a little bit more cohesive. There's a review on Goodreads if you're interested. The topics on this one being more empowerment, healthy relationships, self-love. This one is a princess turned damsel turned queen. So you have the princess, which is kind of like her younger hopes and dreams, and then the damsel, which is when things kind of shatter and break, and then the queen, where she kind of puts herself back together, which I think I related to more as opposed to the Milk and Honey topics. Then I had a sci-fi read, and my sci-fi read, which was a little robot emoji, was Saga Volume 1. This is a graphic novel by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Stiles. This is a story about two aliens from warring planets slash tribes, and they come together. So Elena, her name in the book is spelled the way my sister's name is, but she pronounces it Elena, which most people don't. They say Alana. So I don't know how you should pronounce it, but in my head it's Elena because that's my sister's name. So Elena is a prison guard. Marco is in prison for war crimes, and I think he turned himself in actually. She falls in love with him, and they have a baby, and they run away and try to get away just to raise their family together. One of my favorite things about this series is that Elena is like addicted to these cheesy romance novels, and she ends up like bonding with Marco over reading them to him, and she's like a super book nerd. Later on in the book, Hazel, who's the little girl, I think it's in the second, volume 2, she uses like a piece of like this really special piece of clothing. She uses a piece of it as like a bookmark. So reading and a love of reading is like really involved in this story. Like it's woven in, not as like a main theme, but it's definitely woven in there, which I thought was really cute. This is definitely adult. So there's like sex scenes and just some more adult topic. This is not YA, this is definitely adult, but it was really cool as my first intro into graphic novels. And then I read my book about, what did they call it? The Two Boys Holding Hands. And this was my diverse read. This was History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This is about Griffin. Griffin's ex-boyfriend Theo dies in a drowning accident. Theo has a new boyfriend out in California where he moved for school. His current boyfriend's name is Jackson. Jackson comes home for Theo's funeral and runs into Griffin, and they kind of come together in mutual grieving and healing and try to move forward. But it's a story about friendship, about growth, about healing, about taking a raw, real look at yourself and moving forward and working through your shit and your garbage. I have a full review of this up at Goodreads that I think is going to do better justice to this than any of my synopsis that I give verbally. But just know that I loved this book. I love Adam Silvera's writing style. I love his voice. I was so happy with More Happy Than Not. I was so happy with History Is All You Left Me. I'm not a fan of the back and forth. They have like a history chapter and then like a current day chapter where he goes back and tells about his relationship with Theo, and then he comes back to present day with Jackson and his healing after Theo's already dead. I don't like that flip-floppy personally in books when I read. I had a couple fundamental issues with this book, which I talk about in my review on Goodreads, so I'll link that down below. But in general, on a whole, I really enjoyed this book. I definitely shed a couple tears. I'm glad that there are books out there dealing with mental health and grieving. The main character in this book has OCD, so you have different mental health issues being addressed as well as grieving. And in general, I just think that it was a really fantastic look at a diverse relationship at mental health, at grieving, at overcoming different mental health struggles as well. Like, it was pretty all-encompassing, really well-rounded, and just beautifully written. So I really, really enjoyed this book. Then the last one was my Read Any Book You Want. I think it was just like the stack of books. This was on my regular February TBR anyway, this behemoth book, because I'm trying to get through the Throne of Glass series by the end of the month, which is looking kind of promising. I should be able to get through Empire of Storms, I hope. This was not my favorite book of the series. I don't know why I struggle getting through this, but the pace, I don't know if it was pacing, I don't know what it was, but I struggled. And that is loving side characters like Alid and Manon. I think that some of the side characters in this book are phenomenal. I don't know why I'm so drawn to Rowan, but I really, really am. I think it's because he's Fae, and like anything Fae can do no wrong in my mind, but he's just that kind of like dominant man that just I love to begin with, and then he's got fangs and is Fae, and that is always awesome. What bothered me most, I think, about this book is that the action really doesn't pick up till the end. Until then, it's a lot of slowness. Oh, Lysandra. I also love Lysandra. So you've got like, my favorite parts of this book were side characters. Manon, Alid, Lysandra, like they're all side characters. Could not care less about Dorian and Cal and Selena. But there are a couple of like large battles at the end of this book where you take on a couple of different villains, and they were so anticlimactic for how horrendous these particular villains are, too, in general, that you've known throughout the entire series. For the buildup of their just like horrors and atrocity and just horrible things that they've done, the justice that they met and the way that the battles like kind of finished was just so unsatisfying for me. So unsatisfying. My battery overheated. So as I was saying, really disappointing finale at the end of this. However, character development, character arcs were kind of cool. I don't know how I felt about this one. This one was definitely not my favorite. It was, I mean, I was on like an upward arc from Crown of Midnight to Heir of Fire, and I was increasingly liking the books more and more, and this one went back down to a 3-star for me. So I'm hoping Empire of Storms really kicks it up a notch, because this one did not. That was my 4 books for the Emoji-a-Thon TBR. I could definitely add a ton of the other books that I read this month onto this list in one category or another, but I'm going to stick to just my original TBR and leave it there. So you'll also see these in my monthly wrap-up. For now, that has been my successful TBR of the Emoji-a-Thon, and I had a lot of fun joining in this one. So if you did, I cannot wait to see your wrap up at the end of the month. That is that for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and comment down below if you know any other readathons that are taking place in like the next couple of months. Definitely let me know like dates, details, links down below, because I want to keep my eye on other readathons. I know Alcrate's doing one right now, but I just don't have time for all the Alcrate books that I have. Let me know if there's any other ones coming up down below, or if you're hosting any, because I'd really like to take part in a couple more to kind of motivate me. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye.